Okay, so David, what would be your single piece of advice for the Cochrane collaboration?
David, I think what Cochrane should focus in on is the safety of treatments. They should focus on adverse events and methods to pick those up in clinical trials rather than efficacy. Because the way things are going at the moment, the worry I have is that treatment trials that offer apparent efficacy but don't give us good data on the adverse events will ultimately lead to people being killed. David, we're pushing for access to clinical trial data because we think this is going to stop companies being able to foist drugs on us, to make blockbuster drugs out of treatments that aren't all that good. If we see the real picture, that it's going to slow sales down. But this isn't true for medical devices, which come without controlled trials and where there isn't data that could slow sales down. So is our push for transparency going to get us anywhere?
It's an interesting question. I'm not sure I know the answer. I remember going to a session at the Royal College of Engineering a year or so ago, and the talk there was all of how do you avoid randomized trials and just look at real world data, and the accent seemed to be on getting these devices basically into service as quickly as possible with the minimum of scrutiny. So I absolutely see that it's a huge problem, and that seems clear to me, and as I said on that day, that the devices need to be subject to the same scrutinies at least as drugs, and we need to make sure that happens rather than circumventing it in some way.